It's Vibe Wichita. It's keeping it real, man. 24/7.
Chasing all these dreams when it's never what it seems. Trying to feed all that team when the grass is less green. Sit down, take a sip and let my thoughts unwind. Lay back, recline and vibe with me one time. See, I rose from the east where the sun gon' shine. Oh Lord, anoint the power. I was built for the grind. Traveled on my
What up? What's good? What's happening with my Wichita family? It's your man, Dramedy Drew. Welcome to another episode of Vibe Wichita. How's everybody living today? Man, look, man, I got some big news right now. I got to share with y'all. I've been holding it in for probably about a week, but I can share with y'all finally since I've been verified. We are officially on iTunes. So check out Vibe Wichita on iTunes. Look, man, we doing big things. Y'all still think I'm playing? We on iTunes. We gonna be moving. Just stay locked in, man. I love all y'all. I appreciate y'all support. Everybody from Kansas City down to Oklahoma, down to Dallas, where we got some listeners. We got a couple in Atlanta looking for my boy Amsterdam Graham. I'm like, how'd they catch him on this podcast? Yo, we got listeners, y'all. It's not just me, man. It's y'all, Wichita, man. We on the map. Anyway, man, you know what? I was watching BET the other day. Boys in the Hood was on TV, and then Menace to Society came on. I don't know, man. It's what's weird is, like, when you're younger, man, yeah, that movie was cool. But like when you get older, it's like you feel the movie a lot differently because it's like you're their age now. Yeah, and there's a lot of
innuendo. Brown Sugar, and I finally caught it. And then you start hearing the music that was playing the whole time. I'm like, the soundtrack for this movie is dope.
And then there's a lot of innuendos and little side comments that we didn't get as kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand what that meant. So what I liked about the movies, even though Don't Be a Menace it's stupid, it's funny, like, it's hilarious. What I liked about it is that it's our movies. Those are our movies. You know what I'm saying? And comparing those to these blockbuster box office hits, like, to me, I feel like our movies could give those movies a run for their money now. If Boys in the Hood was made now in this climate, oh my goodness.
Boys in the Hood is with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking about Don't Be a Menace. That's what I'm thinking.
Don't Be a Menace was silly
the
with the Wayans brothers. Yeah.
No. Okay, Menace to Society. That's what I'm thinking about.
Menace to Society.
I'm like, what they talking about? Boys in the Hood.
Young Kane.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know, man. For some reason, with me, I never really liked those movies, like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all those. No, don't get me wrong. Those movies are realities for a lot of people, but I just hate how it portrays a negative image, and we latch on to that stereotype so hard. Like, that's what we want to be. That's what they show us. That's what the industry chooses to show our people. So now with these new age movies that they're bringing out, they're starting to show a better side of our people in the industry. We're getting more opportunities. We're getting more roles. We're getting more opportunities to do better movies. So when I'm looking at these movies back in the day, they were all good movies, and when we were younger, we didn't get a chance to really look at it and take it all in. But now when you look at it, it's like,
it's funny that you say that, because any other black movie that's not made by Tyler Perry, I'll watch it. Whenever it's a Tyler Perry movie, dude, I don't know what it is about Tyler Perry. I just can't get into it.
Why did that come about, though?
I don't know. Some of his movies is okay, but now the movies that he's making right now, I feel like he gone away from what his true ways were. Mm-hmm. And the first couple movies I see, like his plays, for example. His plays is dope.
I watch his plays all day.
But his movies, I can't get into.
I haven't seen like the last 3 movies he made.
I don't understand it. So, I don't know. It's kind of
I don't know. Tyler Perry has some, his movies are spiritual based. When you look at Temptation, there's
I love that movie.
I remember I was actually reading the Word, and I was like, man, I want to read the Word, and I was reading up on what temptation is in the Bible. Right. So when I read up on what temptation really was, I can't remember the verse, so don't quote me on it, but I read the verse, and then from there I went to the movie, and it seemed like he didn't say the Bible scripture in the movie, but he portrayed it with the movie. It was like verse by verse, word by word. Everything that happened in that movie was this scripture. So when I'm thinking about Tyler Perry, he has a lot of great messages in those movies. Yeah, they're getting redundant, and but there's only so many things you can do. But I feel like he is one of the good ones that are still trying to portray a good message and try to give good light and give people opportunities of color. because he is one of the only ones out there. You know, he always constantly having casting calls. He's constantly having, you know, open mics, etc.
That's good. And I think now that you say that, the movies that he's not in,
okay,
the main star
that's
in,
real.
are good.
That's real. That's
but
real.
whenever I see Madea, I just be like, this.
It's real.
Well, then we got to be specific and say
This boy
the Madea
clown.
movies.
Yeah, okay. So maybe that's what it is, just the Madea movies. Because I had to go back and watch, like, Daddy's Little Girls kind of touched my heart a little bit. You know, that was a cool
good
movie.
movie.
That's
Man.
probably one of the best movies I've seen. I don't really remember Temptation. I don't remember if I remember, but I think he has a new movie coming out where the young lady is a surrogate mother.
That's his movie.
When the Bow Breaks.
Yeah, is that
That's
his
not his
movie?
movie.
I don't think that's Tyler Perry though.
Oh,
No, Tyler Perry. He don't have enough money to get Morris Chestnut yet. I'm playing. Nah, Morris. Nah, I don't think that's a Tyler Perry movie. But that's gonna be a cold movie when it comes out. When the Bow Breaks.
It's just another movie like Obsessed. Like when Beyonce was playing the
see,
war.
that's what I thought this movie was about. I thought it was kind of like
it's the same
Obsessed.
thing, but the dude now the roles are switched,
Right.
and then now the lady is she's having a baby instead of actually being hiding out and all that stuff, man. So it's I feel like it's the same, you know, but it's only so much you can do.
That's what I thought. And I kind of initially thought it was the same. I actually was putting together kind of a script for that type of situation where it was more of a crazy ex-girlfriend though. And I guess it was leaning more towards the movie with Michael Ealy and Sanaa Lathan, the one that just came out. Yeah. The Perfect Guy.
The Perfect Man.
Perfect Man.
Yeah.
Right there.
I know what you're talking about.
I kind of had something similar to that. So when I seen it, I was like, man, you know, I was able to kind of, you know, I'm gonna go see it.
You know what bugs me about black movies the most, man, is just that they don't never show positive images of black people or black couples or black relationships in general. They're always portraying they're always talking about so-and-so they do good, but then times get hard and so-and-so cheats. And then they get back at them. And then they rekindle that fire, they rekindle that relationship. Or so-and-so falls for a white girl. Or so-and-so falls for a black dude, et cetera, et cetera. They continually try to break us down in these movies. I mean, it's getting better. But in the past, they're continually breaking us down so people like us can see these movies and like, oh, that's what we are. And the only good roles that we could have, which everybody knows, is slave movies. They remade The Roots and they cast everybody. Look at Gods of Egypt. Well, this is off topic. This is not even that's not even a black movie.
But no, but you're right though. But you're right.
A black movie. Chill on that, man.
It's either that or they depicting the pro-black woman and how much the black woman struggles, and it's just like, yeah, we know overall how much a woman goes through, especially a black woman, but it's a lot of good stories out here where black men actually overcome the stereotypical
they don't want you to see
ways
that
what society has, but they don't want you to see it because then it becomes a reality in real life of how these brothers are struggling, coming from sports, trying to get out the hood or trying to do all these other things, getting out the hood, where if they just went to school and had an education and could get a job, that's boring to society because it's like, oh, that's what everybody else is doing. So it's got to be some type of story behind it to where they doing something extraordinary that's nothing different than what an average white man would do or an average person would do that's not a color. So I feel where you're coming from. Man.
Yeah, they don't want you. They don't want America to see positivity in a black relationship, in a black movie in general. They want us to see destruction. They want us to see chaos. Because why? That keeps the separation in the homes, and that keeps the black family separated, and that causes destruction in the family. Right. That's really what they want to do to us. Right. They're trying to kill the race off in general. You know, you got dudes playing freaking women, i.e. Tyler Perry, i.e. every black star who's a major star right now has played a woman or has been gay. When you're thinking about black movies and black stars, that's a given. That's proven. Jamie Foxx, Will Smith has played. Everybody, everybody's played.
You know,
gay.
my guy's Vin Rames, man, but it threw me off when I seen that movie that he played a woman.
Yeah. Holiday Heart,
and that's one of the hardest brothers out here. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So,
I mean, you can't be Melvin but be out here in another movie playing a woman. That's
absolutely.
But those are all different, stories and topics. But keep it, black movies are just, back in the day, thinking about Minister Society, Boys in the Hood. Like I said before, it's just I didn't really enjoy it because I hate seeing our people be portrayed as gangsters and thugs, and like we really don't have anything going for our lives. Loving Basketball, The Wood, those are my kind of movies. But I understand, like I said, I understand those realities for a lot of people in those situations, and they want that story to be told. But that can't be all that we have. That can't be our movies. That's just our movie, whatever.
I mean, because at the end of the day, the real, even though it would be essentially the same thing, but like soul food,
Mm-hmm.
This Christmas, stuff like that. That's what actually happens with black
those
families.
those are movies.
But
man.
it actually shows how black families come together and the bond that they have.
That's real.
When something happens.
Well, how many of those are, you know what? I think really watching us struggle, watching us, you know, go through a situation where we have to battle and we have to come from the ground up. Those are the only ones that are selling. Now, if you go look at a movie with Ashton Kutcher, or let for instance, what's that movie that he was in with Bernie Mac? Guess Who?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He didn't really. I mean,
Which
there wasn't really any struggle in that movie.
Essentially, it's based off Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
movie too,
But
yeah.
he's the white. He's the white guy, and I'm trying to. I really want a movie where there's two Caucasians, but if you look at it, their situations, it's like, oh man, we got too many kids, and we're struggling.
Right.
You know, so how can we get the family together and smile at the end of the movie, or me and my husband, you know, we're dealing with abortion or something like that, or we're dealing with a lost child, and now we adopted another one, and that movie's going to sell $100 million. But let that be a movie for the black folks.
Black people like drama, man.
We're probably not even going to go see it.
We like chaos.
We
man.
probably won't go see it. I'm going to be real.
The fact that you brought that up, and it's kind of off topic, but all these Love and Hip Hops and
Yeah.
Housewives of Atlanta, it just irritates
We
me.
love ratchet titty. Man, we love that kind of stuff, man. We feed off of
It
it.
irritates me, dude. I don't never watch it.
I ain't gonna lie. I watch it, man.
It
I
irritates
watch
me.
it.
I can't watch it.
I sit there and I watch it. Me and my wife, I watch it, man, because it's good. It's good scripted drama. It's when you go out, when you separate yourself from those are black people,
Right.
and you actually look at how they set up stuff, how they stage stuff, and you're really trying to study something. It's like, man, this is kind of dope. Like how they scripted all this, how so and so's here, how they got this. When you're trying to study something like that, and just trying to see how they do certain things, and you looking, you know, just the plots and all that. It's kind of detailed, man, and it's a good storyline. It's like a soap opera, but like I said, people take it too seriously.
When it becomes,
It's not that
yeah,
serious.
see,
It's
that's my
not
thing.
real.
When it becomes reality,
Exactly.
and everybody try to replay their whole lives, and
It's not real, man.
the ignorance comes out when you realize it's scripted and they getting paid for acting.
Right.
But it's going to sell. Those are the type of things that sell
But
in
then
our
on the flip side,
community.
you out here on Facebook trying to get attention and you doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? You out here acting ignorant for no reason. Out here on Facebook getting a bad name, and then you can't figure out why your name is in everybody's mouth. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna quote Charlamagne the God real quick. Nobody wants to hear the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Oh.
That's how this world is right now. I mean, that's how social media is. Like they're gonna keep up with all the ratchet. They're gonna keep up with all the things that put us down, regardless if we say, y'all,
Man, you know
this is
what,
killing
too?
us.
Man, you just pretty much Charlamagne, he quoted the Bible without even know he quoted the Bible, bro. And I'm sorry for bringing that into it, but at the
No,
end
you
of the day,
good.
that's how everything comes back to the word. When you say nobody wants to hear the truth because the lie is more entertaining, that's their scripture that says that we want to continue to sin because sin feels good. You know, once you sin once, you want to continue to go. Nobody likes to live right. Nobody likes to feel good. You know, feel right. Like, oh, that's boring.
Because nobody wants to notice that.
Yeah, but when you sin in it, it's like, oh man, this is cool. I'm gonna keep going, and you just get lost in it. It feels amazing. Used to, you know, I used to be a sinner. It freaking felt amazing to do all that kind of crap, man. You know, you was doing it. So I mean, it's crazy how when people are talking, they're saying certain things, I don't even know they're saying it, man.
Yeah.
It all that's off topic again.
Yeah, no, it is, but in retrospect, it comes in because it's like, hey, you know, I'm sinning, I'm doing all this, you know, I'm making all this money, doing all these things, but at the end of the day, you do something real, you do something positive, you ain't really doing nothing extraordinary. You doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you know, if you was up in the word like you're supposed to be, it is what it is. And it's not to knock nobody who's in sin, but at the end of the day, everybody has had a point in their life where they came from the church, so they know what's right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't dumb. It's just
we don't want to do
our
it.
society has to get back either into the word, or we're gonna continue to carry on this act of new black that everybody been acting like and just act like we just do whatever we want to do and everything's okay. And, you know,
man.
I don't ever knock nobody, and this is kind of off topic. I'll never knock nobody for sexualities and everything, you know, being gay and everything like that. I don't ever look upon it to where I support it, but I don't ever knock nobody because at the end of the day, you gotta love everybody for who they are. But you still respecting somebody for who they are and loving somebody for the sins they commit is two different things.
Yeah.
So you can love a person all day for who they are, but you don't have to respect them for the sins that they always commit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, boy, you are going.
That's how I feel. I feel like I had to get that out. But,
so yeah,
but the thing is
boy,
that nobody will say
left.
that because for a black man to say that you respect somebody who's gay, but you don't respect the ways that they doing, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, that's your opinion. And at the end of the day, they know at the end of the day, you got their respect and their love. You treat them like a person. You just don't like how they acting. Yeah, it is what it is. That's how they are, and I don't treat nobody different.
Well, when did we stop standing for something and then falling for everything? Because that's what I feel like is happening right now. Is that
real opinion? My opinion. Mm-hmm. Really, the thing is when you stand up for what you got, and you have your own opinion and you stand for it, that's when you don't fall. So if somebody continues to be like, why, and you continue to stay strong on whatever you got, your opinion is on, and you don't sway back and forth, that's when you start standing up. And then people start coming out and be like, hey, you know, I support him for what he says. I support her for what she says. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever look at it as wrong. I can't accept something that I know ain't right.
Well,
but at the end of the day, I'm still going to respect you as a person. You know
I'm glad you said that because prime example, Colin Kaepernick stood for something that he's still standing for something that he thinks is right. And for those, if y'all don't know, Colin Kaepernick is not standing for the national anthem at the beginning of the games because he feels there's injustice right now in our United States, and he doesn't want to support a flag, a nation that is going to allow it to happen. And that's what I think people are missing. People feel like it is something like he's rebelling against our nation. No, he's addressing something. He's using his platform to say, hey, there's a problem. I'm going to do everything I can to get everyone's attention, and we're going to try and fix it. We're going to try and work it out. And I mean, that's what it is. How you feel about it?
In all honesty, man, I can't really say that he's doing something wrong. But I think the issue that I have is that there's a double standard in America to where you got all these politics going on where they can do double standard stuff. And honestly, I didn't even know there was more verses to the national anthem.
Oh, that third verse?
Yeah. I didn't know there was anything more to it, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to compare Colin Kaepernick to Donald Trump, but in retrospect to what the situation is, you know, Donald Trump can sit down during American anthem, or national anthem and nothing be said. Colin Kaepernick doing all. He's just all disrespectful. But at the end of the day, I understand the justice that he's trying to speak for. But at the end of the day, what people need to realize is that you can't be ignorant to the double standard that you're trying to put on Colin Kaepernick when you don't apply the same thing to Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even a double standard. Like people, it's just the fact that people fought for this country for his right to sit or stand to protest,
right? And
that's what he's doing. That's what the flag represents. It does. He's not anti-America. He's not anti. He loves people. He even stated that in his press conference just now. It's just people who are cussing him out, sending them racial slurs and all that. That's one of the issues that he's trying to bring to light. He's saying all this stuff. He's like, well, this is part of the problem. I'm not protesting this. He said, I'm not protesting that. I'm just trying to protest the injustice that are going against minorities and people of color. That's all he's saying.
Right.
And it's annoying that people jump on his head.
You know what? A lot of situations like this happen where a group of people will miss the rhetoric. They'll miss the absolute purpose, reason, focus behind it.
This is all it is. That's really all it is.
The bad part is, well, I can't say the bad part. The beauty of the whole situation is Colin Kaepernick doing this is bringing the forefront of how essentially he don't have to say nothing. All he did was sit down, and he's literally showing you what the issue in America
exactly.
is.
And he's protesting. He's using his right to protest, right. And they're over here.
He ain't got to say a word. All he got to do is sit down.
And now they've brought in the veterans. Now they brought in the military with the situation.
And they support him.
Absolutely. So now it's like, all right, I'm going to support this guy. There's something wrong here. So what do we got to do to fix it?
It's rough talking about the injustice that's happened this summer, with all the killings.
White people don't see it because they're white. There's different perspectives in life that we have to come together And see, and that's what he's saying in his press conference. He's like, I'm just trying to bring about perspectives. We got to sit down. We got to have a conversation just like we're doing now. You have your side and I have my side, and we talk about these issues. That's all he wants to bring in light. People are trying to run down this parade, and I honestly think that they're just doing this because how many of you guys heard about Brock Turner today?
Did nobody hear about Brock Turner?
All right. The rapist from Stanford.
Right, yeah,
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, he was
6 months.
released 3 months early.
3 months early.
Right.
And they're tripping about the Star Spangled Banner. See, that's the injustice. See, you're supposed to get, they talking about the black man, that's white privilege. See, you're supposed to get 20 years for raping. Yeah, the black man got 20 years. See, the injustice is that this man got 3 to 6 months. That's the injustice. And the injustice is on the person who got raped. That's what injustice is.
Yeah, and the other injustice is not even going towards even rape. It's just when a black man and a white man goes to court for the same actual crimes, what the white man gets versus what a black man would get. A black man could get triple to quadruple the same sentence of what a white man would get, and then what the white man has can get on parole, just like we had in the same situation. He's supposed to be in jail for a year and then be eligible for parole. That man get 30 days in prison and then he out free.
And that all just stems to me when I hear stuff like that. I just be like, man, why play the game when you already know the rules? You know what I'm saying? Why sell weed when you know you're going to go to jail for 30 years? Right. Why do this when you know you're going to go to jail for longer than the white boy? Right. But you taking them risks, you know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad when you know when you know we're not equal in any way, but you're going to sit here and still do the things that you're not supposed to do. It is, don't play the game.
You can't play the game, but on the flip side, you also got to know, it comes back again to what your surroundings is. You got to know what you're doing. Times is hard. Everybody's in financial trouble. You know you got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day,
nobody wants to work at McDonald's though.
No, nobody work at McDonald's. But what I'm getting at is, even though there's white people out here that's getting, favored, there's also white people who's trying to bring up the same inequalities that black people's getting, and they not getting hurt also.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's plenty of articles.
Small.
There's plenty of articles of white people saying, "Hey, this injustice is ridiculous." And it's not just old school, white people that's been brought up. It's people that's nowadays that just realize common sense. Like 2 and 2 is not making sense to them. And the bad part is that they're the ones that get shut out and get shunned out the same way that black people do. But anytime they stand up and anytime they protest, CNN and everybody else, Instagram, Facebook, they want to show the picture of the white people getting arrested.
But Jane Seymour, do you guys know who Jane Seymour is?
Jane Seymour is who?
She's an older white woman. She's been doing this test. It's called the blue eye, brown eye test. She's been doing it since, I believe, the 60s or the 70s, one of the two. And what she does is she'll put people in the room. She'll have anyone who has brown eyes on one in one room, and anyone who has blue, green, any other color in another room. They come back in, and basically the way she treats the blue eye, green eye people, that she treats them like white people. Or I'm sorry, no. Forgive me. She treats them like black people or anyone of color. Right. She treats the brown-eyed people as white people. She doesn't use any race or anything. She says, you're going to go to jail for 10 years for jaywalking. And then then that's a green-eyed person. But a person with brown eyes, you're going to go to jail for 6 months for jaywalking. You know what? And that, exactly. And now the conversation starts. Okay, why would I go to jail? Because, you got green eyes or whatever, I don't have to tell you why you're going to jail for 10 years. You jaywalked and you shouldn't have done that. Well, that guy's only going to jail for 1 year. So, and the thing is that she'll tell you, she says, all right, how many people out here, you guys may have seen this video on Facebook or on the internet. She says, how many of you people in here would like to be treated like a black person right now? Raise your hand. And she'll sit there and wait. I don't think you guys heard the question. How many of you guys would like to be treated like a black person in America right now? Raise your hand. She said, nobody. That's what I thought. The fact that you don't want to be treated like any of them lets me know that you guys know that there's an injustice right now. There's a problem here in America. And you guys have chosen not to do anything about it. She's been doing this for over 40 years. I mean, she has the biggest guys breaking down, crying over this. You know what I'm saying?
She an old white lady?
Old white lady, dude. YouTuber Jane Seymour. Just watch her videos. And I'm telling you, there is a problem here. But yeah.
Right, and I was going to say, I feel like you got something going, but just my 2 cents is that the people who are grandfathered in the old system trying to run the system the same way that it's supposed to be back in the old days is not the same. And even though you got judges and you got governors and you got people who's been in 4 or 5 terms that are just grandfathered in, nobody's going to vote for anybody else because they got so much political power for what they've done. It's not even that they're doing anything politically correct for whoever they're representing, say for a county or for a state, for a government. Just the fact that they got that old money, and every time they run, they just gonna out money whoever's gonna come in because they got that much support. It just is what it is, so everybody just gives up on it. But I understand what you're saying.
It's broken, dude. Absolutely, our system is broken, and the reason it's broken is because we've allowed all these things to happen when we have laws and amendments that are completely against it, and we skate past them all. So it's broken. Yeah, the Second Amendment wasn't a problem until the Black Panthers had guns, until they were able to have weapons. That's when California became a non-open carry state. You couldn't carry a gun. You can't carry a gun in California now because of the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like the system is broken. In a perfect world, I was listening to Mark Lamont Hill. In a perfect world, let's say his perfect world, there would be no police, obviously. But how we can combat that right now is by having after-school activities, having organizations where, like my man Finesse was saying, he wants to have something where he calls them the Finesse Cuties, and what they would do, they would pay a fee, and they get a shirt, they get pictures, but I mean, I'm sure they would raise money for themselves or things like that.
It would be like a model boot camp for like the kids, but we would like basically show them, like treat it like a business, like show them like the business side, give them like runway training and do hair and makeup workshops, but at the same time do like community service activities and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like make it feel like like a social club of like modeling for them and get them portfolios and all that good stuff.
And see, with things like that, because the people in Chicago, you guys know they're up to 500 deaths over the summer. This is over the summer in a 4-month span. Someone's dying, more than one person's dying a day out there.
Right.
Black. I'm not talking about anybody else but black people. Right. And I'm not talking about them dying from natural causes or from a white person. Black on black crime, there's over 500 deaths within the span of 4 months. They don't have nothing to do in their community. Clearly, there's nothing to do in their community. We know gangbanging doesn't have a good 401k plan. Gangbanging doesn't have a retirement plan. They don't have any type of organization. Like, we don't do that anymore. Nobody bangs anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what do we do from this point? I mean, individually, what do we do from this point? How can we progress as far as keeping the people who are occupied doing those things that they're not supposed to be doing? As you said, selling weed or gangbanging or in the streets. What can we do?
It's weird that you say that because, like I said, you got people trying to, especially for black men, trying to get out. A lot of people looking at the NBA and the NFL as an outlet, going through college basketball and college football. It's predominantly black. It's been predominantly black.
Right.
And I know we had this conversation the other day where I don't feel like there should be an all-black team or all-white team. I feel like it should be a good mix, but the good mix and the difference is a predominantly white team with a few good black players still has the same double standards as far as when, the black man or the black boy that's on the team messes up, then he just messed it up for the whole team. Versus you got a predominantly black team with a couple of white kids on there. The white kids is going to struggle because all these brothers out here are athletic and they're gifted, and these white boys got to either struggle or they're going to get better with the black dudes, but at the end of the day, they have more respect and they become a better family, a better bond, because they know at the end of the day, they making them better. So if they mess up, it's not as bad, but at the end of the day, a predominantly black team is going to be more successful with a few sprinkles of the white boys versus all-white team being successful, but then as soon as that one loss comes, it's because he had a bad game. The black running back or the black quarterback or the black wide receiver didn't have a good game, so that's the reason why they lost.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. My bad for being quiet for a second. I was over here pondering. But
well, you've been in the system, bro. So speak on it.
To comment on what Troy is saying, what can we do? At work, I met this guy's name. I think his name was Melvin. You know, I do some contract work or whatnot. I'm doing all right. I would think I'm doing all right, you know. But there's obviously more people out there who are less fortunate than I am. But so we're sitting here, we're having a conversation. He comes over to my cube, to my desk, and we're just talking. And he's talking about how he's having issues at the crib and how he's having issues with his family, and you know, and he just starts talking. He's just like, yeah, man. And I come out, I'm like, man, you know what? You know, the world is really missing, you know, God. That's the issue. We need to, you know, do you believe in God? He's like, man, yeah, I believe in God. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, yeah, I mean, he was talking about all these other issues. I was like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then he struck me because I'm still fairly new in this walk. You know, I'm giving him all this good advice, all these good scriptures they need to live by, such and such. And he's spitting something back to me. But then he comes at me, he was just like, what are you supposed to do when your people ain't eating? And it was just, when he said that to me, bro, it knocked me back. I had to sit back in my seat. I was like, what you mean? He was like, man, I'm around people. He's from Kansas City. I'm around people who literally ain't eating. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a situation to where people who are gang banging, who are selling drugs, they're your idols. You know, you don't see nobody who are actually going out and making money the legal way. You don't see nobody who's really out there going to the league or nothing. You see people pulling up in Bentleys and Maseratis, and they selling dope and they selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? He said, he was just like, how can we beat that system? I'm out here doing what I got to do. But when I was a kid, I was seeing people doing this and doing that. That's who I wanted to be like. You know, them niggas riding around in Chevys and doing this and doing that. And then my people not eating. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I didn't have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? I really, you know, it kind of put me on the step because I was like, well, that's real. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you ain't getting no money, you ain't getting no jobs, how can you do anything for your family? So I just say, we got to create more jobs. We got to give people more opportunities to do something, to bring a living to your family. Because as a man, if you can't bring no money to your family, you don't feel like a man. You're going to do what you got to do at the end of the day. And if the government is not providing that, and I mean, we can sit here and make a lot of excuses to why, you know, this man is not qualified than the next man, and we can put color and race into it in the day. But if the opportunities aren't there, they're not there. Just in Wichita alone, there ain't no jobs here. That's why everybody's leaving. I'm talking about the minimum wage is probably what, $7.50, $7, $8. You can't live off of that if you got 10, 5, 6 kids. Then, and given the circumstances, okay, say somebody does go out there and have 3 or 4 kids, that shouldn't be a death sentence in life. You know, you should still be able to take care of your peoples. You know, that's just a tough situation. We're as a people, we are so far behind. You got people who are making millions of dollars. You know, Michael Jordan, and you know, he has a plant in China. To remedy the situation, you can bring your plants, your factory, you can put that back in the United States of America and have people working in your state, in your facility making Jordans and giving free shoes to them. You know what I'm saying? And that instead of paying $200, they can be getting free shoes. They can be getting $15 an hour. You're over here making billions of dollars off from little sweatshops and freaking wherever they're doing. And it's, you know, this stuff like that. People making millions of dollars, man. People are making millions of dollars, but they want to flex on their own people. They want to be on Instagram throwing money when people out here ain't eating. That ain't cool, you know what I'm saying? But and it all stems back. Of course, it all stems back to the Bible, etc. But
right, and I'm gonna tell you what you really hitting on is the fact that there's still a lost mentality where, especially for Black people, is every man for themselves.
Exactly,
it's eat or be eaten mentality. So the young brother that you was talking to saying that he's struggling and he don't see nobody eating is because he don't have no support system around him.
He is his support.
Right. He don't have any other brothers around him saying it's going to be okay. We're going to do this together like we have in this podcast. You know, like we trying to spread the word out. Essentially what it is everybody still has this mentality is, I'm going to get mine. I don't care if you don't get yours because I'm eating and I'm cool. Versus this, hey, I'm eating, I'm cool, but let me tell you how you can get to this level. Let me tell you how you can do better. Let me tell you how you can do these things. I was there before. You know, a lot of people go through these tests but keep their testimonies inside. You know what I'm saying? Versus them expressing these testimonies and then giving them encouragement for other people to tell their testimonies after they get done passing their test. Right. So I feel you where you're coming from.
People only help you to a point. You know, they're not going to excel you to a point to be better than them because they're afraid of losing their spot. And I feel like that's the mentality that we have as a Black
selfish
culture.
Mentality.
You know, I'll help you, But if you're going to be making more money than me, I'm not going to help you. Or I'll help you, but if you don't get that promotion over me, I'm not going to help you. Yeah. Or I help you, but if it's going to take my spot, I'll help you to get to this point, but the rest is on your own. Yeah. When you're thinking about other cultures, I can get into this, you know what I'm saying? When you think about the dollar in a black community, I'm not a factual person. I don't do stats, but I do know a little something. I just know certain things. When you think about the black dollar, it circulates throughout the community probably, I'm going to say one time. But then you think about the Jewish community, that $1 circulates throughout their whole community about over 100,000 times. I'm exaggerating, but that dollar touches 100,000, 100,000 people, or 100,000 times it gets circulated. So they're eating off of each other. They got their own banks, their own schools, their own police departments. White people, they are helping each other build up. But us, we want to spend our money elsewhere. And we wonder why we ain't got no jobs. But it's starting to get better. We all know this. You know, this is just a broken record that people are really starting to fix. Invest in the banks, black banks, invest in black businesses, invest and support your own people. You know, don't go out there and support, don't go out there and support Diddy. You don't even know who Diddy is. Go out there and support your local black producer who's trying to make it. Don't go out there and support Kanye. You don't know Kanye like that. You know what I'm saying? He already making millions. Go out there and support somebody else. Go out there and support somebody who's trying to run a political system, a production company, or something else. Don't try to go out here and support these millionaires who are already making millions. It don't make no sense. That's why we losing.
Right. And the other thing is you got to get out there to these events, and when somebody's out there, you can't be knocking them down. Talking about, oh, he got this little petty event going on around. He ain't got nobody showing up. Yeah, the reason why ain't nobody showing up is because you ain't there.
Exactly.
You too busy on Facebook or social media
trying to knock him
instead of you being there supporting them and spreading the word for everybody.
People don't understand what they can do with their own following and bringing it to somebody else's following to support somebody else. You know what I'm saying? This is why, and I explain this
when you winning, man. They only want you when you winning.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to see you through the struggle, but once you get there, oh man, I know Troy, I know Mr. Andrews, I know so.
I'm gonna hit him up. I still got his number.
I'm gonna do his podcast. When you've been asked to do a podcast for how many times, I'm gonna go over to his house and do the podcast for him. I'm gonna help him do his editing. Now he's making $2 million. Maybe I can get a couple hundred. Right. People ain't right, man. They fake it.
Cool. I feel the frustration you're coming from, but on the flip side, the easiest and best form of advertisement is word of mouth.
Yeah.
So if we as black people spread other businesses we spread the word, about that, it is what it is. So at the end of the day, we got to support ourselves, just like David said, but the best advertisement for ourselves is exactly what we're doing right now: podcasts, news, sharing stuff on social media and everything. So
like I was saying, you bring your following, you know what I'm saying? I bring my following to the podcast once and then once it's out there, that's when you share it to your people. You share it to your people. I share it to my people. That's word of mouth right there. But, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. I really, it's a pleasure having y'all here and being able to really elaborate on just anything, It's cool to just sit back and have a conversation with friends. I got a shout out to my boy Finesse with Finesse Films and Photography. Man, he's doing his thing, man. Y'all stay locked into that.
Snap me one time. I'm on the book, Finesse Films. I'm live. Photo shoots. I even DJ, whatever. All that.
Well, he in there, man. Shout out to my boy Mojo, Bailey Scott, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. It's been a minute.
I ain't heard that. I ain't lived by that name for a
Mojo?
Minute, boy.
I ain't forgot, man.
But in all honesty, too, it's rare for all of us to come here because we grew up with each other. But at the end of the day, we still got the same passion for each other. So, as much as we can, even though we're doing these podcasts and he has different people on here, it's a blessing for all of us to be here, because even the guests that we have today, myself and, Daily being here, and even Richard, it is what it is, but we enjoy being around each other, and we just want to share the love.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Fitz, man, appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, everybody go out and check out Shallot Lounge. I forgot what street, but it's behind, if you're from Wichita, Kansas, it's behind the new North Rock. Well, it's behind the old North Rock 14. Oh, yeah. It's a new bar and grill and lounge. It's pretty smooth in there. DJ Fluid, Chris Boyd is the DJ out there. They have they're open from, I believe, 10 to 2 a.m. And they go from Thursday through Saturday. They have they pull all the tables back and have a nice little kickback party. It's pretty smooth, man. So I encourage everybody to go out there. We talking about supporting, go out there and support that man and his family as they start that venture. And also, like we said, continue to support these podcasts with Mr. Andrews, and go out there and check out Finesse Films Photography, man. We really appreciate you guys for stepping out here today and listening to us and taking time out of y'all night, man. Really appreciate this for sure.
Appreciate the plugs. It's going to be a big weekend this weekend, man. Welcome to September. You know, it's all love, man. Thank you, Lord. Just bless everybody right now, man. I just gotta say that right now because I love all y'all.
Shout out to all these young men playing in Little League football. Y'all go out there and support them too.
For
these
sure.
young kids out here that need structure in their life. So go out there and support these.
Hey, and if you see somebody, if you see a young man, young lady, if you're a grown man, grown woman, young adult, whoever you are, you see a young man, young lady, you see something that's incorrect. Don't be afraid to approach them, grab them, do whatever you got to do. Talk to them because that's what they're missing. Their parents may not be talking to them. So, hey, man, y'all stay locked in. I know y'all still think I'm playing, but we live, man. We growing. We getting big. It's Vibe Wichita.
You know what we do around this time?
The voice of the dub has spoken. Thanks for hanging with us and tuning in to Vibe Wichita.
Act like y'all know.
Peace.